I get a little better here. I'm gonna grab this microphone. Ooh, I'm going live because I want to do a little video to show you what I'm doing to improve my health. About a year ago, I was discharged from the physical therapy office, and it was because I told him I wasn't improving. I felt abandoned, and my primary care physician told me, "You shouldn't feel abandoned. The guy wasn't helping you. He asked, are you getting any better?" And you told him the truth. But I didn't expect to be discharged so abruptly. I thought there'd be some effort to see what else could be done. But what happened was I was forced to look at other ways and other types of practitioners, alternative therapy, including nutrition, to try to improve my health. It's been a year and I am doing a lot better. A year ago, I could barely walk. I needed a cane, and I thought that I would soon be in a wheelchair. I went to over 8 healthcare providers. I went to doctors, physical therapists, neurologists, my internist, osteopath, and they couldn't tell me what was wrong. I came to a conclusion of what may have happened to me, but I am just working on this one thing right now, and that's to continue to improve. So, some years ago, I remember waking up with pain from the base of my neck all the way down to my toes. I was eventually diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. But when I woke up with that pain, I asked my husband, "Are you having any pain?" See, my husband was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in about 2006. And I prayed and fasted, and the Lord told me to put him on a raw foods diet. And for nearly 18 years, he's been eating mostly a raw foods diet. So he wasn't having any pain. I decided I would try that. So I went on a diet with just smoothies. And in 3 days, I started to feel better. In 5 days, my pain was completely gone. So I decided I would revisit that and try to see if I just have vegetable juices and smoothies, would I be able to recover completely? So this is day one. And if you want to follow me, just keep hanging out and I will be telling you what I'm doing. Now, I went to get some muscle relaxant, and I have been taking this muscle relaxant for years. It was given to me after an automobile accident in 2017. And when I got the prescription, I had no idea that this medicine was going to be so expensive. So when I went to the pharmacy for 30 pills, I was told it would cost me $197. Wow, that's a lot of money for 30 pills. So I elected not to have those pills. When you get something like that happening to you, it's important to go back and check with your insurance company and find out what happened. Maybe that pill is no longer on the formulary, or the pharmacy may have made a mistake, or there may be some other preferred pill in that category that's not going to cost you that much money. And then you'll need to go back to your primary care doctor or the prescribing healthcare provider and get a new prescription. So I didn't want to pay the $197 for 30 pills. What I did was continue with my anti inflammatory diet. My husband has been helping me by massaging my leg, and I am doing my stretching exercises. But I found out that I have herbs in my garden that could also help me, and I got a cup here of thyme water. Now, I don't have the thyme with me. I should have had that with me. I'll try to remember to bring it with you. But it's a herb that will grow all year round. It's a perennial that grows in Virginia, which is zone 7. So if you live in zone 7, it could even be in colder climates that this will grow. I picked this because it is anti-spasmodic, and that is the problem I was having and why I needed muscle relaxants. If I can get the relief of the same relief from drinking thyme tea that I did from prescription muscle relaxants, I'll just stick with the thyme tea because herbs offer you usually a balanced solution, whereas prescription medications may put you at risk for other side effects of the medication and complications that you really want to avoid. I'm not saying I don't use conventional therapy. I'm saying I didn't want to pay $197 for 30 pills. So I'm trying something else. And then I'll go and talk with my healthcare provider. So this, oh, my husband is bringing me the time. So let's see, here it is. Here's the time. Can you see that? Yeah, I love this stuff. And I love having my herbs in my garden. You get a double benefit from having herbs, maybe even triple, because you can use them for aromatherapy, many of them. You can also use these for teas, and in my case, I'm using it as an anti-spasmodic, but it's also antibacterial, antivirus, and antifungus. And there's now some evidence that joint pain could be related to an overgrowth of certain types of bacteria in your gut. What I have been reading about herbs, and I'm not an herbalist, I'm a conventionally trained physician specializing in sleep disorders medicine, and I'm certified in nutritional medicine. I'm certified nutrition specialist is what I want to say. So I'm not an herbalist, but I do like my herbs. And the herbs will also attract pollinators. And that's another reason to have them in your garden. I like growing my own vegetables. And I use these pollinators um, to help me with my plants. And when you let your herbs go into a flowering state, they will attract lots of bumblebees and other types of pollinators. But anyhow, I'm using this today. And what I did was I used well water or spring water. And I boiled it because the well water may have parasites in it. I'm not sure, I never checked it. But it does have minerals. And for your bone health, you definitely need to have minerals. And after the water was boiled, I I put this in there, not while it was boiling. I don't want it to go into a boil state because that may destroy some of the active ingredients in the herbs. So I let the water cool a little bit, but it was still very hot. Then I dropped these herbs, the thyme, into the water and covered it because the herbs give out steam, that's the oil that's going to be lost if you don't cover it. And I wanted the oil to go back into the water, which is in this cup, and I'm drinking some of it now. So I will let you know a little bit more about thyme as we go along and whether or not it has helped me. One precaution with thyme is that it's a blood thinner, and a lot of herbs are blood thinners. Ginger, turmeric, those are blood thinners. And so you want to be careful. I'm not on any prescription medications, but if you're taking a lot of herbs, even things like turmeric pills, omega-3, ginkgo biloba, these are things that cause blood thinning, and you can get too much. Now, one sign that you've gotten too much is look for bruises. If you're bruising easily and you're taking over-the-counter supplements, you may want to check your supplements to see, do they cause bruising? For example, if I take turmeric, melatonin, ginger, and I try to take omega-3, I will bruise. That's just too much of a blood thinner effect. And then if you want to put in some topical medicine like methyl salicylate, which is in a lot of the over-the-counter medicines for arthritis, that is also a blood thinner. So you want to be careful. Just because it's a herb and you're cooking with it doesn't mean that it's safe for you to pile all these things up. So if you're on any kind of medicine that's a blood thinner, you need to definitely talk with a healthcare provider or your pharmacist before you start adding herbs into your diet. So what I did today, this is day 1 of my 7 days of having vegetable juice. And the reason I'm doing this is about, I think it must have been around 2013. I had a very severe problem with arthritic pain, and I drank just vegetable smoothies and no meat. I went vegan overnight, and in 3 days, my pain was better. In 5 days, it was gone, and I have never felt that kind of pain again. Now, I do have pain from time to time, but never like I did when I went vegan and did that green smoothies. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments, and thanks for joining me. So today was day 1, and what I did was I started my day out with a smoothie, and I had mixed greens in there, and I like to go into my yard and get some of the weeds that are actually medicinal weeds, and I put some grape leaves in there. That's because grapes, you know, those Concord grapes that we used to have them in our backyard. Everybody's grandmother had them when I was growing up, and they would use the grapes to make jelly. When all the kids wanted Welch's, our grandmothers were making us homemade jelly. Well, I have a better appreciation for it now. But the leaves actually have more resveratrol than the grapes themselves. Now, if you have grapes with the seeds, you want to have the seeds as well as the leaves to get the most of the resveratrol, which is a good bone supplement. And it's also anti-aging. Anything that helps the skin is probably going to help your joints because they are both with the same types of tissue. So I had a green smoothie that my husband made. He put a banana in it. I try not to put a lot of fruit in there. I'm trying to move toward the berries. And then I made myself a juice. And the juice was white potatoes with oranges. Some people take you off oranges to see if they're causing the problem, but I'm having oranges because when we did the orange challenge, I learned that oranges can help with elastin and collagen. And these are two things that are very good for your joints. So I had that this morning, and I also had a glass of aloe vera water, and I drank a tall glass like this of water with my ginger, turmeric, and tart cherry juice. I use a straw when I drink that, because the cherries will stain your teeth, especially if you're eating fresh cherries. Now, I have a really nice dentist who just took the stains off for me, but it doesn't take long, and the stains will really accumulate even if you're brushing very well. So I like using a straw with these things that will stain my teeth. So this is day 1. That's the drink I had, and I'll tell you tomorrow what I'm doing, and I might even just do a video to show you how I make my juices. The juices that I'm making now are for anti-inflammation, and what I'm trying to do is take out all the pain from my nerves, my joints, and all the muscle spasm to try to see if I can continue to improve my mobility. So thanks for watching, and if you're watching on the replay, thank you. And I'm not sure what time I'll be back tomorrow. If I do a video on how to make the juice, that'll be a morning video. Otherwise, I'll probably see you in the afternoon. Okay, take care. This is the end of day 1, and I'll see you tomorrow.